true you got paid $17,000 for Midnight Cowboy? And here you got an Oscar nomination?
Yes.
Now, I loved your character in this. You know, the whole time I was trying to figure out how you got your mouth like that, to stay like that, the squint and the...
But that is my mouth. It's harder to be this way. You know, it's a funny thing. The film is... I find that as I talk about it, I'm very cheerful and playful.
Yeah. Because
the film itself, to me, was a playful thing. It was a good adventure, good old-fashioned adventure. You're on full of scares, and it was kind of fun, macabre fun, you know.
Oh, sure. I mean, your character was very funny to watch.
Yeah.
So that must be a blast just to be able to let loose, you know?
That's right. Yeah, it was really fun. I don't know why it was that. I worked very, very hard. I was working on Rosewood, which was quite a different experience, during the time that I was having to prepare for Anaconda. So maybe it even helped, you know, because I had to think of it in another fashion, more as an entertainment. So I was so deeply steeped in the serious work of Rosewood. And then I had to invent a character that would answer all these situations for the story. Be very frightening, be quite a powerful presence, somebody who was very comfortable in dangerous situations and in this big jungle that offered no challenge that he couldn't easily overcome, and a certain kind of relationship to the people that scared them, you know, and made it fun for the audience. So I don't know how I got this bizarre. I experimented with my face to get a certain kind of look, mostly just the visual of the guy, that he could be a certain. He comes on, and a certain primitive aspect. So he was kind of always trying to, like sitting down at a tea party. He felt the whole thing was like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, you know. But he doesn't live there. You know what I mean? This is all bullshit to him. So. It was fun. It was fun.
You know, I read that you first made your Hollywood first experience on Broadway in 1961 in The Sounds of Music.
Yeah, I think so.
And I just can't see you singing in The Sounds of Music. I mean, were you?
Yeah, a lot of people can. And a lot of people who actually heard me couldn't believe it either. I'm the worst singer, but I could play that role because physically I was a young man, very blonde hair, and skinny fellow who had a certain intensity, and I could play that role of the German boy. And I had a little accent. I always had a little accent in every work I did, you know, and I enjoyed that. But the singing part was funny. Some days I think I got away with it some nights, but most of the time I wasn't hitting the notes too well.
Did you have any singing jobs after that one? No.
No, and perhaps there was a reason for it. I saw your work in Sound of Music. How would you like to try some dramatic roles?
Is it true you got paid $17,000 for Midnight Cowboy? And here you got an Oscar nomination?
Yes, probably the whole thing. And I worked like 5 months on that piece or something like that. It was a long shoot because I came in very early and worked through a whole section. And I remember when I was up for the part, I was not offered the part initially. There was a big, long adventure to get in the door, and Marion Doherty, who cast me for Rosewood, was really on my side to get this part. And I did a screen test with 4 other people finally, and it came down to 2 of us. And the other fellow had a contract, had a movie coming out, and it was the safer choice. So they went with him, and then they had trouble making a deal with the studio. They would have to postpone the film or whatever, and it finally came to me. I don't know what the question was. The adventure was so long, what was the
$17,000.
Oh, the $17,000. So I said to my agent, I said, I was so frightened not to get it that I didn't want to interfere. They were having trouble with this guy, and they finally said, well, the heck with him then. Let's go back to Jon. So I said, don't make any trouble for them. I said, do it, I'll do, and I said, listen, I said, I know what this is. This is a great opportunity for me, and I'll do this for nothing. I didn't know that it would literally take me up on it, but I was paid minimum for the film. And I even got a check from the coffee shop at this place in Texas where we were for something like, you know, $12 or something like that. And they didn't, you know, everybody stuck right to the rules and nobody paid me anything. So I was losing money during the film. And at the end of the film, I went and I did a Gunsmoke, which got me back in the black. I said, you can only get me for another couple of weeks, then that movie's going to come out and I won't be able to do this anymore, so you better hire me quick. And they said, okay, John, and they did, and they gave me a break, and they gave me some money, and I was able to pay my rent.
And it all ended up working out in the end. Well, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice talking to you.